check the weather out. This is Tintaro, South Australia. We've just been to Adelaide again, in the old jalopy. We stopped here for an Amy Whitehouse coffee, where we picked up puppies. This is Lotus. This is Rosie's dog, and this is Sally. Hello. They're beautiful dogs. They are Doberman crossed with American Bulldogs. So Ivy, our dog at home, is an American Bulldog. Lotus will come home with us. You can't see their faces. Hang on.
Here,
Can you do it from,
I'll do it.
Yeah, you do it from your side.
All right, pup-pups, look at me. Pup-pups. Pup-pups.
Our dog is most interested because Grant is a dog lover and he's got Roddies. So our dog can obviously smell a Rottweiler. It has a problem in that the cooling fan's not working, apparently, but it also handles TIG, which is rather good. So I've not TIG welded, but I reckon if I can fix this, it's a good thing. All right, let's have a looky. Whoops, just a sec. Right, now this is going to be great for using at the other place. Got a regulator, gas regulator, and the earth cable. We got a stick welder thing for it, and a MIG torch. Damn, and I just dropped it. Good thing about this brand too is you can always get parts. And there's the gas line for it. And the power lead, which is 15 amp. This looks cool. So we'll have to have a look in here and see what we need to do to repair it. So cool. It's a busy little guy, isn't it? Looks the part. Fan doesn't look like the easiest thing to get out. It is. I don't touch anything. It's in behind there. It's not seized, it's rotating. Looking at that feed motor down there, that's 24 volts. So I need to get access to the fan. Hi Rose. And I think the easiest way is to pop that hose, take the cable strain off, and remove the back. I think would be the easiest way to do it without disturbing any of the gubbins inside. I think the wind's up, so you'll have to excuse me. Right, so this welder, that was the cooling fan from it. Doesn't look like it's had much, because I haven't cleaned that up, it doesn't have much use. There was fixings missing from it though, don't know. It runs off a thermistor, I think. So when we get to a certain temperature, this will kick in. It's 24 volt. That circuit, I'm not going to play around with that circuit. I've just decided to hardwire a 240 volt one in, and I put some leads on it. I've double heat shrinked it because it's mains. I'm sort of extra careful. So we'll get the welder and we'll see how we can fit that in. It does appear to be identical in size. So hopefully it's got less vanes, but hopefully it's a bit more aggressive and it spins nice and fast. Machine is relatively tricky to get into. There's a bunch of cooling pins, like heat sinks there, so I'm going to have it so the fan blows in on those rather than sucking out. The directions should be written. airflow this way. So we're going to mount the fan like that. Of course, I bought M5 because I'm an idiot. So you don't hit anything. What's behind here? Oh, there's stacks around. Beautiful. I think it's what's behind this one could be a bit dangerous. Nah, easy, does it? Right. Just drill these out over the balcony so I don't get a whole lot of aluminium swarf here. Airflow inward, so I'm going to put it like that. I hope it fits. Which it does, so far. But he's the right size. Philip's head. I might put some lock washers on those actually. Right, well, I got them in. I was sort of panicking a bit because you got all this stuff over here. I can't see any caps up there though. There's some here. There's a whole bunch of little ones there. But anyway, we've got a little fan in. So I'm just going to pop that back in and put the case back together. And we'll have to work out how we're going to do this bit. Although, I might have to wire that up first. That's your main in. Out goes straight to these two here. So it might even be easier just to solder them onto there. That might be the way to go. Alright. I'm just going to tin these. Actually, I don't need that much anyhow. Might have to use a bigger iron. But it's just losing all its heat. This is one of these dirty, great big 130 watt Burkos. My old man taught me how to solder when I was about 6 with this thing. And it should have the grunt to melt pretty much anything it touches. That seems pretty solid. I think that's going to be alright. I guess it's time to plug it in and see what happens. It's a 15 amp plug, but I'm not putting any load on it at the moment. I just want to see if that fan's doing what it's supposed to do. I don't want to touch anything. Yeah, but it's drawing. Seems like it's doing the right thing. I can feel air coming up here. Ripper. You don't want to touch those two. Good. Well, we have a completely rebuilt fairlane rear axle. They haven't gone to the same lengths I would to paint it. They would have pressure washed it and just rattle canned it or just, you know, dusted over it, but it doesn't really matter. The whole thing's been rebuilt, new bearings through the centre. The crown and pinion were good, but the bearings were all shot, and the limited slip component was knackered as well. It's a 2.77 to 1, so this car really has got the best of everything in it. It's quite a Fairlane. So down here, I haven't put that in yet because I'm still, this is a problem, right? I'm always busy. I keep myself busy from the time I get up in the morning to the time I go to bed at night. And it's a beautiful day. Got to do some work in the garden because it looks dreadful. Got to do some work on this, cleaning underneath it. But I'm going to the other property to mow it. I'm mowing it, what was the last day, 10 days ago. And the trouble is it's got capeweed, so I've got to get rid of that. These are the supports, I think, for the cones, the limited slip cones. These don't use clutches, these rear axles. They use a set of cones either side. And one's cracked. They're worn. That one's actually cracked. This one isn't cracked, but it's a bit worn, he said. So he put new ones in. yeah, so we've got all of these things. Oh, I also went to see the lovely Gil Levy. Now, Gil always goes above and beyond. He's very good support. He's thrown in this P5 door, which is very, very good. A couple of little fractures that are very easy to fix. Drill them, weld them, done. A little bit of rust down the bottom, but not too bad. I'll take it out and I'll give you a look. There was a shadow. The skin is dead straight. You know, there's probably a little bit there, but not much. And we've got a tiny bit there, which is a patch job, and down the bottom is a little bit. You should never do this, roll it onto the thing on Astral. But that's off a P5 LTD, and you know, we're a bit scaly in places, but the door itself is wonderful. So that is a great candidate for the XA, or for one of the XAs. I would just modify it like I did the other one by putting an insert in there, which according to John Parnas is better than the repro ones. I've got a repro one in, they're too sharp on their radius there for the XAs. I cut one out of a stuffed door, welded it in, sort of metal finished it, and it's fine. It looks actually correct. So, you know, that might be a way we can go with this. Gil also donated these lower control arms. They're aftermarket, but perfect, in brilliant condition. They're off his LTD. You can see they're exactly the same length. I've just put the bolts in. They're brilliant. They're perfect. They're the OE ones. These were flogged out pretty badly. These upper ones, I'll have to rebush them. That's sort of permanently knocked over. So I'll rebush these ones. The Watts Link ones, probably get away without it. I might just give them to John and get it. Oh no, maybe I should. I don't know. I might rebush them actually. I'll give them to John to blast. So I've got new disc rotors and I've got the calipers cleaned up. I've got caliper overhaul kits. In the meantime, I'm going to have to just stick the increased ride height springs back with the shocks because I spent too much money. I'm an idiot. So when you spend too much money, you've got to start making cuts. So the other thing that worried me a bit is I kind of overcapitalized on that car. XC and XW, XAs, you spend a lot of money on them. Classic car prices have sort of tanked, so you know. This Fairlane, I'm in about 24, 25 grand or something like that. That's too much. I would never get that back. Even though it is literally everything new. I mean, people always say that, but everything's new, you know. So I'll get back into this sooner than later. I've just got to, I've got the wire for Grant's welder, so now I can do this, get that painted, the weather's up to it. And the other thing I've got to do with that welder is fix up this 302 air cleaner for the wagon. That's one that I put that snorkel on. I like those snorkels, but I've got to weld all this up and sort of make it all look factory, because at the moment it looks terrible. But then that can go on that 302. I haven't even started that yet. I've got to get around to doing that. So new bike bits, valves and spark plugs and oil filter and manifold bits, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, just cleaning up. But I can't get in here today because I've got to go away. Well, I've got to go to the other place. The light's really crummy at the moment. I just did some shopping at the auctions and bought CB400F motor for $41. Oh, that looks... Holy crap. So I've got a 350 head, which is broken around here. One of the studs needs redoing. Gosh, I wonder if they're the same head. I'll CC it. He's got a coating on there too. I can use that on the special. Although that looks different. This is a bit of a bounty. A lot of gaskets. The engine was $41. The gaskets were $33. It's taking all the bloody rods off too. Need to see what's here. Interesting, that's a 6-speeder. See what it's cranked there, that would need grind. Oh. Gee, look at this, looks like rust. This guy had the foresight to put grease on there. Standard manifolds. We've got, what have we got, 4, 6 rods there. Another 3 there. That'll all go to John. I'll get that all hydroblasted. Deck first, then bore. Be interesting to measure those. This is a sweet little bounty for $41. I can't complain at all. It's beautiful. It's truth. It'll come up like new. Check this out. This has been done by a pro. Like, that's all match ported to that adapter. It must be for a bigger set of carbs, I would think. I haven't got the other adapters with me. I'm just going to take this stuff off because I want to get it blasted. I'm very happy with it though. It's marvellous. It might be a slightly different head to the 350. It's a lot bigger. The 400 is actually a bigger head. Look at the size of the fins. Oh, that's a bummer. That is a bummer. It's all being machined. All these stud distances are the same. So we got there 57. It's all the same. The center line of the, it's about 65. It all looks pretty similar. It's just, this is physically bigger. It's got more fins on it. Oh, it's got a bit of damage there. I'm going to get it blasted anyway. I think that's probably the best thing, and then we can really see what we've got. Yes, that's been rebored. Good God. Bit of a bummer that fin's missing. I wonder what size it's been bored to. I can only do a rough measurement. So looking at this, it looks pretty good. Bearings are knackered. They've got wear on them as well as being sort of sitting around and having gum and muck on them. They're not the original Honda shells though. They say GGL, or D6L, I can't see that. And they just say STD, so standard. D6L-A. They're not Honda OE parts. So this engine, a couple of things worry me. The bore is something like 56 point, my glove, something like 56 and a half, which makes it 500 cc. So 350 is 347, 400 is 408, 398 for some of them I've seen, but 408, and this thing's 510 cc's or something. It's kind of huge for what it is. Anyway, look, shift forks are all there. The shift drum is there. That looks to be in very good condition. Oh, the detent's moving. That's all. Yeah, that's working. Yeah, that seems to be fine. The case itself looks to be in lovely condition. We can't use 350 barrels, the other thing I wanted to mention is this tensioner. We can't use the 350 or 400 barrels on a 350 because these are bigger on a 400. They're the same. Their gear sets look pretty good from what I can see of them. It's all sort of gummed up though. They're just filthy dirty. They need a good clean. But hang on a minute. I don't know why I'm bothering doing this, but it's something to do. It all looks to be in rather lovely condition. There should be little half moons or pins holding stuff in, and they're missing too, unless they're in the other case. Little pins to lock those on. That's where your sprocket mounts. That's all good. The rest of it's by the by, really. It's in good condition, but could use a clean up. I don't know why they didn't take that gear shift or the this thing out. I'm not sure. Cranky, when you give it a wipe, looks pretty good. Let me take that out. Oops. Caught. I'll just pop that there for now. These bearings are pretty well toasted. They've started losing their white metal. Hang on. Just through wear. You would never reuse those because they could shale. But it's worth Googling, because if that crank's alright, you could just use standard bearings back in it. But you know, it looks like a 350, 400 engine that's just dirty. It's been sitting around forever and a day. It's got the oil cap in there, the oil pressure cap, and the other one on the other side, which is good. There's no Kickstarter mechanism in it. That should be there. Why is that all bound up? Let's take that out. There's the half moon that was missing. That's for the seal. That's located for the seal. So we'll just pop that little bloke in there. That's got its locator there, so that's cool. The middle one runs in the counter shaft. I think that's the counter shaft, is the main shaft. Oh no, that's the main shaft. This is the counter shaft, I think. So that should just fall into place. Should be in the operative word. Hang on a minute. It's not going to fall into place. That's bad. Hang on a second. Let's just turn this back a little bit to get that. There we go. Alright. That should be kind of almost, that's in. And this one has to come up a bit. I've got to spin that bloke around because that's where the seal sits. Under there. Does that look right to you? Because I've got no idea. Whatever. Now, this one uses another moon, and it's got that peg there. The moon is in the gear. Beautiful. So, this one, that should fit like that. But it doesn't. Oh, here we go. That looks a bit better. Maybe a tiny bit more promising. It does feel a bit gross. Oh, I haven't got that located. You dickhead. Hang on a minute. What am I doing? There we go. And that moon's going to go down in there. Which we have. That's cool. That needs to locate and drop in. There we go. Gears. Super duper. Now, that's cool. That's really cool. I wonder if it works. That's first. That should be neutral. Yep. Second. Third. Fourth. Fifth. Sixth. My God. Not bad for 40 bucks. Now let's clean these up. I'm just going to throw the crank in just because, well, I just cleaned up so well the bearing came out. It just seems that this has been done by somebody who really knows what they're doing. It's not oil on here, it's like a storage lubricant. It's almost greasy, but it's in remarkably good condition. It looks like it's been balanced. It's got more holes in it than a standard one. But I'm just sort of seeing what's here and what's not. Hopefully the chap's still alive. But this auction, you know, a lot of it, the stuff is deceased estate and collectors that decide to hang the boots up and this sort of stuff. I'm just going to get some assembly lube and stick it in there just to nurse the thing. Just so I can throw that in. Is that right? It's not sitting in. What's going on with that? It's not sitting in. As it is. It is now. Alright. Now we've got 9 rods. Some have bearings, which I'm tipping you out of this. Some don't. That hasn't. That has. I think, you know, if he's running a 500cc bore kit, he was probably going to use different rods. Yeah, we need the right rods. B1, that's a match. So I've got to go through those. There's another set of those manifold things he made. And we've got OE manifolds, and we've got other ones, these ones which he was using, which are significantly bigger. So he would have been using bigger carburetors. The valves that he's used are actually the same size as stock. That's another primary. There's the gear shifter detent thing. Ah, there's the tensioner thing. He has got it. Wow. There's a big circlip. What else is in here? Bearing. That looks like a new primary chain. That's awfully clean. Food for thought. There's one of the tensioners. That's a match, that one's odd, so that can go over there. There's 4 rods, which hopefully are okay. That's the cam chain tensioner, which goes in there. So that's the rear one. Here, see, there's the flat that goes against there. Inner spring, outer spring, perfect. That goes that way. Then we screw that in. We need to get it like that. Yeah? For now I'm just going to lock it there. Doesn't matter, it's not important. That cap goes on, so that's perfect. And if I release that, that should work on the cam chain tensioner. Which it does. Cool. Okay. So far so good. Okay. Thrown some parts together. I've gone through the gears. It's definitely a 6-speed, which is fantastic. It's missing a few bits. We're missing the alternator rotor and the oil pump, starter motor, the starter sprag on the cover there, the starter sprag, the oil filter pickup with the spring. It's missing a clutch basket. It's missing one of these spaces in here. That being said, it's not a bad thing. It's amazingly complete. So now I know exactly what's there. It can just be put away. I'm tempted actually to get the cases cleaned and put it away neatly, sort of wrapped up. Now the kicker with this engine is it's been bored to 500 cc's. I've had the barrels cleaned up. There's no identification anywhere to say 408 cc's. I don't know if he ground it off. I'm assuming it used to be there. I think it's a competition engine, but it's a fresh bore and it's a professionally done bore. These bores are coming in at 56.75 mil. And there is an oversized set available, which is 56.5, leaving 1/4 mil. What's 1/4 mil? 10 thousandths. What's the piston clearance? I think on a 750 it's only about 1. So we'd probably need custom pistons or something off the shelf from something else that I'm not aware of. That boring has left the bottom parts quite thin, but that's no thinner than what the squeal, the little zeal is. But that's actually quite a surprise. Now, it sounds good because you've got a 500 running in essentially CB354 engine, 404, same thing. But you haven't got the stroke. So if you've got small valves, small ports, small carburetors, lots and lots of airspeed through the ports, it's hindered because it hasn't got that stroke to pull it off. It might be alright. I don't know that there'd be a massive power increase though. Also got John to clean the head up. A few marks, a bad machine job really. But he also cleaned up all the valves. These are the same as the 350 valves. The seats and the valves themselves are in lovely condition. Absolutely lovely condition. So it hasn't had a very hard life, or at least, because these do look like standard valves. And one more. So that looks absolutely beautiful, except I think they could have been a bit gentler on the machine job. But we're talking about an engine that was $40. I mean, who's complaining? But whatever the case, damn, I can't get that to sit down because I've now put the valves in. Whatever the case, it just isn't going to be a powerhouse just because of the constraints that it's sort of faced with, if that makes any sense, with, you know, smaller porting, smaller carburation, that sort of thing. I don't think you're going to get the benefit of all the extra torque with the short stroke and so forth, but I think it'll still be torquier because you've got all that airspeed, but I'm not sure to what extent. Now, with that being said, I'm just going to turn this around. With all of that being said, I think it's still a winner because the head's in better condition. Like there might be, oh look, I've just stuffed it again. There might be a little bit of fin damage, but not to the point that our 350 Special is. So, you know, it might be better to use this engine. I just need some parts to finish it off. I'm not sure if the rocker box fits, but that's been cleaned up. The barrels are being cleaned up. 56.5 you can get the pistons at for a 500, but I'm not sure if the 500 has a bigger pin. I imagine it would. So I wouldn't want to take put too much power through those, because I don't know how well they'd cope. But it's food for thought for the Special. Time for the news, and I've got lots of little bits and pieces. Here's the seat for the CB100. John cleaned it up. You see it's all sort of torn and so forth. So I've got to weld that up. I'll drill those, weld them up, weld that on. With Grant's welder. This little Stally. This was one I got. It was a disassembled shell. It was knackered. And I changed the gearbox on it, put a new clutch in it. All the panels, headlights, everything on it was sold. I think I changed the door. I changed hinges. I did all sorts of stuff. This is a 3-door, obviously. Good air conditioning. I put the power steering in it, the whole power pack. And it's been sort of sitting here. It's a 5-speaker stereo, and I have nicked it for years. I've got to put one in. I might take this down because there's a guy at work who's got a visitor from England coming out that needs a vehicle. And I might give him this to use. It's just over the Christmas period. I'm going to clean it up. It's been sitting here just gathering dust or crap from the rain. So I've got to fix that, and I've got to fix this, including the flat tire. But this one I might take a punt and just put it through roadworthy first. I'm sure there's bits on it that they might not like, but on the whole, it was pretty good. I think I gave it an oil and filter change, but I don't think I did the cam belt. And I can't see evidence of when that was done. I should probably put a cam belt in it. So I'm just going to blow all this muck out. I'll repaint these. And it would be good to sort of get it mobile again. Use it as a spare vehicle. I was going to hand over the other Stally, the green one, that's at the other place. And they needed it in a fortnight. I'm going back there in a fortnight, but they wanted it on the Friday, so I think it's going to be easy getting this on the road and just not worrying about bringing the other one back, because you've got to get a train and that sort of stuff. But anyway, I'm about to start doing that. This thing was really squeaky when I first did it. I'll give it a wash. I'll give it a wash tomorrow. I can't be bothered today. And I'll ring up the roadworthy joint, see if they can fit it in, which I doubt, because they've always got a huge lead wait time, if you know what I mean. It was amazing how much crap was in here. This thing is so cracked. All up here, around there. It's actually knackered. But we can do something with it. We can do something with it. I've got to, hang on. I got a big step there. It's got this bracket that somebody pop riveted on, and I think that's the way it went. If I go like that, it doesn't fit, so it's got to be that way. And what I'll do, I'll fix up those cracks, I'll plug weld it, but also just seam weld a couple of little spots down there, and that should be alright. But boy, is she knackered. Look at this stupid battery clamp. There's ants all over that. The top of this was moving. Oh, they've dispersed now. That's our Christmas decorations. Where are the huntsmans? Because they eat those things, I think. Be around there somewhere. I'm going to put some gloves on and move this out, because I need to have a look at this battery clamp, and I can't find it. I must have put it on that star that I gave away to that guy who just bloody moved it on. Still annoyed about that. Well, I've got ground welder there. I don't know the machine yet, so my welding's rubbish. But it did that steering stop. This bike used to just pivot all the way around, because that was broken off, but that is not going anywhere. That's just a 12mm bolt that's lying on its side, the head cut off. It'll do. It'll be fine. Oh, we've run out of light. Got that done. Looks bloody awful, but there's no more cracks and some really horrible welding. But it doesn't matter, that's all good. So that can now go into satin black, and eventually Jason, I'll get him to put a cover on it. That's for the CB100. Squeal's looking fantastic. I've just got to take the ignition up. For some reason I can't turn the key on. I might have put the thing in wrong, I'm not exactly sure. It all looks alright, but I need to test the electrics. I've cleaned that up, and it looks beautiful. So much nicer than it did. And there's the CB100's frame with that new steering stop on it. All in primer, and that's ready for paint. So we're getting there. Low light, yeah, I know about that. The little Starling, we've popped the headlight out, there's a bit of condensation in it. Take the globe out, stuck it on the heater, and it's all nice and dry now. I might just seal around it. I haven't washed it yet. I've taken that off and started cleaning in the scuttle and this sort of stuff. This is where they leak water, those clips. It leaks in through there if they're not right, and I haven't got any more of these, so I've just gummed them up with a bit of silicone. Neutral cure, of course. I thought I was going to get away with 2 tyres, because there's heaps and heaps of tread. There's even a brand new Bob Jane out around her on the back, but I don't really want it, so I'll have to go and try and get a set of tyres tomorrow, hopefully, and we should be good. Just got to give it a wash, set of tyres. We're going to focus, and in for a rubber on Tuesday. Remains to be seen if it passes though. The wiper blades are all rusty and look horrible, so I've just given them a lick of paint, so I'll wash all that and put it on, and we hopefully should be good. Been messing around with a bit of squeal stuff. This is the front guard, obviously. Damn. I've decided to, well, I've just primed them. So I've done that bit, and the ducktail bit, and these 2 bits here. and that and a tank are going to be that green. That's the seat base, all finished, nice and shiny. That should stay. It's not as shiny at the top because we get it covered, but that can be any time. I'm not fussed about that. Check this out. Still some on the kitchen, what do you call it, the Christmas decks. I moved this box and they are everywhere, and I don't know why. You can hear them. Why is that? Don't know. What's on the outside of the shed? Nothing's staring at it. They're inside the shed, they're not outside. I just don't know why. Right, so that's the plasticware for the Yamaha. It's all just sort of sitting there. Cleaned up, primed, done in satin black as a base coat. I reckon that green will look really good on top of that. I'm hoping it does. So there's a few bits there. Front guard I did underneath as well because there was a lot of purple under there. I've got a run there. I've been getting runs lately. I never used to get them. But weather's turned to crap today, so I'll just give these a light sand, maybe just pass over them a bit of 320 just to iron them out. They're actually pretty good. And we'll put the green on. I'll do it in another video. I'm not going to do it now. Wiper blades for the Starlo. I didn't take much care with those. There's surface rust there, you can see. It's just to get the main part of the rust off. The important ones are for the XC. I made sure to do a much better job with those because the car's a better car. But now I've got Grant's Welder up and going. I've got some sheet metal and I've got a shrinker stretcher. So it might be time to get the fairlanes rusted the back there fixed or finished and get the car done. Headlight in, replace the plugs, replace that belt that was screaming, chuck the battery in. It's a generic clamp, it's off something else, I don't know what it's off. But I've just found a bloody crack in the windscreen. So I don't really want to give it over with a brand new windscreen, brand new tyres, all this, so I might go to the other place and just get the other one and give him that to use, and I'll just put this on club permit. Oh, hang on. Right in the house. That'll do it. Right, everything's perfect. I've just been down the servo, put 20 litres, sorry, in it. All good. We've got a problem with an idle staying up around 1800. These things are known for claying up in the throttle body. So I'm just going to clean out with a bit of that and blow out these passages and hunky-dory, hopefully. Pretty crappy filming. I've got the camera just sitting on the dash. This Starly's going very well. I might turn up here. And all things considered, it's driving beautifully. I had another one of these, a white one I gave away, and I should never have given it away. It's a big regret. So yeah, it's going in for tyres tomorrow. The idle's still up. We used to clean out the throttle bodies. They get carboned up, and it was pretty dirty as you saw before. But yeah, I cleaned it up and it was all flowing properly and everything, so I don't know if it's got codes in the computer or whatever. It's certainly running well though. So yeah, they're a great little car, and they're cheap to buy and they're very reliable. The only issue with these cars is the safety factor. They're not, you know, the sort of car you want to have a spill in. They're, you know, they're safer than a motorbike, but probably not much. But if you want cheap wheels, you know, there's no better way to do it. Got a bit of wind noise. This car was in bid, so I don't know if you remember when I got it. It was just all, it had been parted out. So the engine was in it. It had a shell. I think it had both doors, but the driver's door was knackered. There was something wrong with it. I took it off and replaced the driver's door. It had no guards, bonnet, headlights. I think it had a tailgate. It did have its tailgate. It didn't have a dash. I think it had a dash. So it's got all the power pack stuff. So, you know, I put all the central locking and all this sort of stuff in it. But yeah, no, she runs well. Goes well. I put a clutch in it. You know, it's a superb little car. I'm very happy with it. So I think on this note, I'll say thanks very much for watching. Take care of yourselves, enjoy your classic, and with any luck, I'll see you soon. I'm just on the way to going to the wreckers, trying to get a hubcap for this car. These are all electric cars. I can see some BYDs there. Nobody seems to like these things, and yet the government's put a lot of sort of regulation in place, and they're trying to get people to buy the things. But I mean, look, I wouldn't touch one. But I think, you know, the trends might change, but people are kind of more inclined to stay with what they know. There's an awful lot there. There's 3 tiers on them. That's an awful lot. So, they're really planning big things, aren't they? Well, this car is worth $500, and I've done 70,000 k's in it, and I'm really happy with it.